Alpha.
Hi there everyone, my name is Carlinn and I am a full-time travel and lifestyle influencer as well as content creator and Sony Alpha ambassador based in Cape Town. In today's webinar, I'm going to be talking about what it takes to become a full-time influencer. And I'm going to be sharing some of the knowledge that I have gained over the last 10 years of me being on social media. I'll be covering things like how to find out what type of influencer you actually are, how to work with brands, how to gain an authentic audience, as well as a few other key points that you guys really need to know. So as I mentioned, I've been a blogger and influencer for the last 10 years. Now during that time, I have learned a lot of valuable lessons that have helped me actually turn this from being a hobby into a full-time job. Now, it hasn't been an easy road, but I think with the tips and tricks I'm going to be sharing with you guys today, it might be a much quicker journey for you. So you guys might be wondering how it all started for me. So I actually started out as a fashion blogger and influencer all the way back in, I think it was 2009. And I've grown quite a bit since then. I started out as fashion, and then in about 2013, I kind of moved on and evolved into being a travel blogger. We had moved from Malta to Cape Town, back home, and I saw all these beautiful surroundings. I started taking photos of everything around me. It was so beautiful, I wanted to share it with the world. I had my Instagram account, posted on there, just everything I love, you know, landscapes, hiking, going to awesome places. So that's kind of where it all really started for me. Because I was posting consistently and I was posting in a niche, which was travel and landscape photography, I kind of quickly got noticed by people, my audience grew, people wanted to see more of what I was putting out there. So that is how I started, and it was a hobby back then. And I thought to myself, well, I have this audience, why not turn it into a job? Who doesn't want to do this for a full-time living? Obviously, I worked really hard from that point to bring myself all the way where I am today, where I get to travel the entire world, I get to take photos, I get to do video, vlogs, everything that I love, and I make money from it. So that's enough about me for now. Let's get you guys started on your journey to become a full-time influencer. So I thought we'd start with a question I get asked quite often. People ask me, I don't have thousands and thousands of followers. Can I still be a full-time influencer? Well, I'm going to answer that question for you right now. Yes, you can. Lucky for you guys, it's not just about numbers anymore. It's all about how engaged your audience is and how much they value your opinion and your content that you put out there. So I'm going to tell you about 3 types of influencers. There are micro influencers, and that's anyone that has from about 1,000 followers on social to 100,000 followers. Then you get macro influencers, that's 100,000 to 1 million. And then you get mega influencers, and these are usually celebrities, and they have over 1 million followers. Once you've figured out where you want to fit in, now you need to choose your platform, the platform online that will work best for you as an influencer. Now, I'm a travel photographer, so obviously the first place I went is Instagram, and that worked really well for me. It is a visual platform. People want to see beautiful content. So that's my strongest platform. But maybe you're really good with video, you want to vlog, you want to make cinematic videos, you're really good in front of the camera, you're a performer, then YouTube might be a better option for you. Or let's say you're a writer, you want to write blog posts, you want to be on Twitter. So that first step to success will be finding a platform that works really well for you and that you'll find your audience on. Okay, so now you've figured out those 2 things, the next thing you want to do is start investing in your brand. So even though you want to be a full-time influencer, you must think of yourself as a brand, and you need to invest time and money into this brand. Now, this is something that's quite difficult for people, especially when it comes to the money part. But if you want to be successful, it's really something you need to think about, okay? It is really, really important. So as a travel photographer, the most obvious thing for me is to invest in really good quality camera gear. Now, as a content creator online, I think for all of us, that's really important to actually provide good quality content for your online audience. So I focused on getting really good gear, and then the second thing is focusing your time and effort on something. I needed to know more about editing online so I could edit my photos and videos. So things like learning Lightroom, seeing what Photoshop is all about, learning some basic editing for video on Final Cut Pro. All these things helped me in my journey, and it helped me create better content, and that at the end of the day is something that is so important when you want to be a full-time influencer. Another way of investing your time in your business is to be spending time on your platforms, actually engaging with your audience. I see so many people online and they wonder, but why is this not going anywhere? Why am I not gaining followers? I have great content, but it's kind of stagnant. I'm stuck somewhere, you know? So to those people, I always say, you need to engage with your audience as well. They need to feel like they are part of your social media. They need to feel that they're heard. If people are asking you questions on blog posts, on videos, on Instagram photos, you need to actually take the time and effort to reply to them. That's so important for keeping your audience and keeping them believing in what you are putting out there. So I actually started doing all these things before I even made real money online. It's so important to put good quality content out there and to invest your time and your money in your brand so that A, brands can see that you're serious about what you're doing online, and B, that you don't get left behind. You always want to be ahead of the trends, see what's happening right now. So in terms of the gear I invested in and have been shooting with, even when I don't do campaigns or paid for content, is my Sony gear, and I've been using the Sony Alpha A7R4 as well as two lenses with that, the 70-200mm, which I am absolutely, I love it. I really do. Just it gets these shots, especially when I'm working with brands that I feel have just a little bit extra to them, you know. And then the 16-35, which I absolutely love for travel and landscape. So just that little setup with a tripod and with a vlogging camera, it just elevated all my content. And it's really something you should think seriously about and use whether you're getting paid for the content or not. So I actually started getting more campaigns and jobs just because I upgraded my gear. And it kind of went from videos that weren't really stable and I had to stabilize them and then they warp, and photos that were, maybe I take 100 photos and 50 of them are blurry, to really sharp photos, really nice smooth video, and obviously brands are gonna love that, clients are gonna love that, and you're going to be making more money. Okay, so now that we've come to the conclusion that content is king, you need really nice, great quality content to stand out from other people. You might be wondering, okay, so I'm putting great content out there. Is there anything else that I need to think about, that I need to worry about to be a full-time influencer, to make this my living? Yes, there definitely is. There are actually a few things that you're gonna have to do every single day, just like a normal job, so that you can actually grow as an influencer. One of the first things is that you need to know your audience. Okay, so let's say you are a eco-conscious influencer. It's all about the environment for you. And your audience likes 5-star luxury. Now, that's just not going to mix, you know? So you need to actually find out what type of audience you have. And if you don't have the right audience, you need to change that. Otherwise, you're not going to influence anyone and you're not going to get any campaigns. Your ROI is not going to be great. Brands aren't going to work with you. So something really important is coming up with a strategy to get the right audience and actually evolve that strategy constantly. You need to check up, you need to do polls. Instagram story polls are actually a great way of checking out what type of audience you have and what interests them. So don't actually change your content to fit your audience. You need to get a new audience if they actually don't fit you. Because otherwise you're going to come across as not very authentic if you go from being eco the 1 minute and the next minute you are driving fast cars that use a lot of petrol and that type of thing. So you need to stay authentic, you need to stay with your brand, and then you actually need to have a strategy to change your audience if they are not a good fit for you. Then one of the most important things is that you need to add value to your audience's lives. Now, a lot of people forget that and they just post whatever they want, but people actually want to learn something when they come online. So let's say you're a fashion influencer and you bought a new item of clothing. Instead of just posting that outfit or that item of clothing and saying, wow, look at this, I got this, it's new. Rather think about it a little bit differently and maybe make a set of photos, a blog post, or a video of you styling this item in, let's say, 5 different ways. That way, you're giving your audience value, the client or the brand will love you for it, and everyone's going to be happy. So you have to put in that little bit of extra effort to keep your audience happy and engaged and trusting you. Then there's also smaller things you can do, like posting consistently. This is really important. If you post once a day and then all of a sudden you stop and you don't post for 2 months, and then you come back and you wonder, oh, why am I not getting likes? Why am I not getting comments? Where is everyone? People want to see you consistently. Maybe if you post once a week, then they know, they look forward to that post. If you post once a day, but if you start being erratic with your posting, whether it's on a blog, whether it's on YouTube or on Instagram, people are not going to be interested. You're not going to hold their attention for very long. So you need to post consistently. Then there's other things like obviously engaging with your audience. I did mention to you guys how important it is to engage with your audience. And if you can do it daily, even better. And then also things like just using the right hashtags to get new audience members, to get new viewers, to get new people following you constantly. Okay, so now you have great content and you have an audience and you're like, okay, is it time to make money yet? Well, yes it is. You might have already been doing like little small campaigns here and there, but if you really want to start making money full time and have it as a sustainable business for the foreseeable future, there are some other things that you'll need to do. Before you get too excited though, you guys need to remember you can only work with brands that resonate with you and with your audience. You can't veer off and work with totally random brands because it's not going to be believable. People are not going to believe that you are actually interested in that brand. And it's also, if you go from one brand to the next, people are going to be wondering, oh, but yesterday you said those running shoes are the best, but today you're wearing a different pair. I'm confused. So you need to remember that it's not all about the money. You actually need to look at your business as a whole and stick with that. So the first thing you can do to kind of get brands to recognize you and get more campaigns is to follow the brand you love on social media. So first off, you follow them. They might follow back, they might not. Don't worry too much about that. Once you follow them, it's probably brands that you have been using already. So why not tag them next time you put up a story or post and they feature in it? Tag them. Maybe send it to them via DM. Tell them, oh, I love your product so much. I have included it in my latest blog post. Or I made a video and your product is in it. Maybe you'd like to share it on social media. So these little things, that's the first step to building relationships with brands. And this has worked for me quite a few times before, where I've mentioned brands absolutely for free just because I love them, and they would come back to me maybe a month, 2 months, 3 months later with a campaign, and they would say, listen, yeah, we've loved the content that you've put out there. Thanks so much for supporting us. We have this new campaign coming up. We think you'd be perfect for it. So don't shy away from doing a little bit of free stuff for brands because you never know where it might lead. The second thing is to actually contact brands. Now this can definitely be a little bit scary and a little bit daunting. I know I was scared the first time I had to actually go out there and put myself out there, put my brand out there and contact people. So what I would say, what you always have to remember when contacting brands, obviously stick with brands that you love, as I said, and then when you're contacting them, add a proposal, not your full proposal, just a little bit of what you kind of want to do with them. Remember, they are spending their marketing budget on influencers like me, and they want to know what value that you can add to their brand. They need something out of it, you need something out of it. It has to be a very good working relationship for both parties, okay? So I'll always start out with, hi, I am this and this, maybe tell them your reach, something really cool, something to kind of reel them in, hook them, and then you tell them, listen, yeah, these are the ways I think we could work together. I have an idea, I have a proposal. If you guys are interested, let me know and I'll send it to you. Or you can also say, here is my media kit so long, you can have a look, and if you like what I put out online, let me know and I'll send the full proposal. So never just send the full proposal straight away. Have them be kind of, okay, this is quite interesting, I'd like to hear more, and then you can push the proposal. Lastly, you can also join some influencer networks. Now this is something I would more recommend for beginner influencers. You want to get your first few campaigns, you want to kind of feel it out, see how it works, but you're not quite ready for all the admin and the sending of emails and all the stuff that goes on other than creating the content. So I would say join a few influencer networks. If you type it in Google, quite a few will come up. See which ones work best for you. Join them, and then they'll actually kind of work out a rate for you. You can always change that, but most of the time I find that that is like an industry standard and it's a good place to begin. And they'll actually pitch for you. You tell them, this is the type of person I am, you put it in all your social networks, it actually has an algorithm where it tells you your reach, and then that influencer network has everything it needs to pitch to a client. And that's how you can get your first few campaigns, and I've done quite a few of those as well. Okay, so now you have great content, you're making money online, you have your audience, you have all of those things. You need to remember to not get overwhelmed and take on too much. I know sometimes this can be difficult, especially if you start getting those first big campaigns and you just think, I want more. But you need to hold yourself accountable, and you need to treat your brand like a business. You need to know your limits. I can only do, let's say, 3 campaigns a month. I don't have time to do any more, because if you take on too much, you might not be able to deliver the quality content that you want to the brands, or even be able to put up other content on your social platforms that your audience will enjoy. And you know what? Your brand is going to go from here and it's going to start going down again. So rather keep it small until you have the time or the help to take on new projects. So I know a lot of people think being an influencer is the most glamorous job. It's so easy. All you get to do all day long is fly to exotic locations, stay in 5-star hotels, get sent all sorts of cool things. But let me tell you, it does come with its own challenges, and you need to be aware of these before you start thinking about being a full-time influencer. So the first thing that was very scary to me is not having a stable income. So this is not a normal 9-to-5 job where you know you're going to be getting a salary at the end of the month, you're going to be able to pay all your bills, everything's going to be fine. Like any freelancer, an influencer doesn't know if next month or the month after that they'll get as many campaigns as they did this month. So you might be making all the money one month and the next month there will be nothing. You never know what's going to happen. So you need to work out your finances really well. You always need to have something to fall back on. And you need to constantly work on getting new jobs and getting new campaigns. The next thing is the working hours. So obviously not being a 9-to-5 job, you might need to work at night, you might need to get up really early in the mornings. We love getting up early though, to go shoot sunrises, do things like that. It does leave you tired for the rest of the day. And the thing is, you can't come home and have a nap. People might think that's what you do, but working for yourself means you constantly are doing things. You are constantly online, you're checking up on your audience, you're checking up on campaigns, you're doing invoices, you do your own admin, all of those things. So you need to know that you are going to be spending a lot of time working. Then another challenge is that you constantly need to be evolving. You can't put something online and expect in 5 years everything is going to be exactly the same. You need to evolve because the online world is forever changing. So what might be cool today might not be cool in 2 months' time. And as an influencer, you need to be on top of these trends all the time, otherwise it's just not going to work out for you. Even though we face all these challenges though, I still would not give this up for the world. I'm doing what I love, and I hope that I have helped you guys kind of steer you in the right direction to doing what you love as well. Okay guys, so that's all I have time for today, and I really hope this webinar has brought you one step closer to being a full-time influencer and doing what you love. I just wanted to mention 2 more things before you guys head off. If you are ready to take the leap and invest in some awesome Sony photography gear to get your online influencer business started right now, I have a discount code for you guys right over here for 10% off your next purchase at participating stores nationwide. So that is really, really cool. It's really going to help you guys get some awesome gear to get that epic content. And secondly, I wanted to remind you guys to check out the Sony Alpha universe for all the other awesome videos from other Sony Alpha ambassadors from South Africa as well as the Middle East, and see what they have to say, because there is a lot of cool content going on. And remember to follow Sony Alpha SA on Instagram and on Facebook. Till next time guys, ciao ciao.